Hey guys, we, being Natalie,
Hey!
Andrew,
Hey,
and I, Grant, are doing a video today on the raging ethical debate about the best balance between privacy and security, specifically in concern with modern technology in the US. We want to answer the following question: do we have the same right to privacy when online that we do in real life? After analyzing historical documents, current events, and future implications, we will offer a conclusion to this debate.
first off, here's a little bit of general info and definitions. Starting from the early 1900s through to the 2000s, we as a species leaped in our abilities to transfer information and data.
We started with things like posts, television, radio, and essentially ended up with all of those, plus some, like handheld cell phones, social media, the internet, and less than secure personal emails.
Hand in hand with the advancements of technology, we gained new social issues, specifically the ethical debate of balance between personal privacy and national security.
Personal privacy being defined as the state of being free from public attention. National security being defined as the state of being nationally free from danger or threat. Our big question: do we have the same right to privacy when using the internet that we do in real life?
First, let's look at historical documents. On the 17th of September in 1787, the United States Constitution was signed. 4 years later, in 1791, the Bill of Rights was ratified and added into our Constitution. These amendments guarantee essential rights and civil liberties that still exist today. The Fourth Amendment specifically is a huge part of this debate: the right of the people to secure their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fourth Amendment outlines personal rights. The main argument when dealing with this debate is whether or not papers and effects is covered by the Fourth Amendment rights. In argument A, the privacy or non-privacy of our stuff is our choice. It is one of those unalienable rights, and papers and effects does in fact cover tech and data. But putting this into context of national security, it is our rights that would stop the federal government from hacking our phones and looking at our information, even if that could potentially stop terrorist attacks. Others don't buy into this argument, however, saying that, like in argument B, privacy is not a necessity, nor by definition is it a right. And finally, they also don't believe that tech and data are covered by the Fourth Amendment. Using the previous example, in the event of terrorist attacks in our country, it is more of a priority to give the federal government the right to hack our phones. All in all, the argument stands that personal privacy is less important than national security.
Regardless of whether or not papers and effects is covered in the Fourth Amendment rights, the privacy versus security debate is slowly reaching daily life. If we look at current events, we see that it is very much influential in the modern world. Really, here's where it matters. On March 28, 2017, Congress passed a bill that allows your internet service providers, namely Verizon, AT&T, Xfinity, and Comcast, to monitor their customers' behaviors online and without their permission. Not to mention, it also lets these companies have access to location data, app history, and social security numbers, and gives the ISPs full right to sell this info to marketing companies, which can be concluded is pretty controversial. Most think this is a huge violation of the Fourth Amendment rights, as the companies make money off of it. But not all think this is a bad idea when getting to the second part of the situation, which is that Congress has failed to introduce any well-defined laws to regulate our government from also taking or buying this information and doing with it what they will, including stopping terrorists or acting for national interests. This leaves us essentially at the same conclusion as before. The government still has the ability to get our information for selfish or unselfish reasons. The only difference now is that they have the option to pay for it.
And lastly, let's talk about the future implications of encrypted and unencrypted technology and the privacy to each. Scenario A, if the bill had no effect and we value personal privacy over national security, then we keep our personal information encrypted, meaning no one but us can give or deny access to our information. Then we secure personal privacy but large-scale fail national security. Scenario B, if the bill does have an effect and we value personal privacy over national security, then our information to industry and government is as good as if all our information were public. The only difference is the internet users wouldn't know our internet information. Scenario C, if the bill had no effect and we value national security over personal privacy, then only the government could obtain our information, with or without consent, and big corporations wouldn't make money off of our information. Finally, scenario D, if the bill does have an effect and we value national security over personal privacy, then we end up again at scenario B.
So at the end of the day, do we have the same rights to privacy when using the internet that we do in real life?
Well, I would say that privacy and security are equally important, which is why the only middle ground solution is to require warrants online just like we would do in real life. The problem comes when law enforcement can't even get into something, for example a phone, when they do have a warrant.
Which is part of why privacy should not be required for the general public, because the security of our nation is more important.
The problem is that proposition infringes upon the choice of the public. This is America, with or without the warrant. The government should not be trying to look at our data and information without our permission.
The Fourth Amendment says the right to be secure in our houses, persons, etc. So, security must take overwhelming priority. Warrants shouldn't even be required, especially since, like in practically all scenarios, the government gets your information anyway.
The Fourth Amendment is stating that our right to privacy in these things is secured unless law enforcement has a warrant to search. So, assuming that security does come first, our privacy is secured. So logically, our privacy also comes first. Our digital privacy is covered by the Persons, Houses, Papers, and Effects section of the Fourth Amendment, specifically papers and effects. Therein, finding compromise and coming to a middle ground is the only logical and ethical solution.
Well, compromise has led to great things in the past.
I'm willing to compromise to make things great again.
Sounds good. Thanks guys for watching our video today.